My wife didn't leave me because I was broke. She left me because the guy next door built a homemade sharpening machine before I did. No affair, no secret romance, just a homemade sharpening machine. Apparently, that was enough. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "At least Carl actually finishes his projects." Carl, the neighbor, the guy who somehow turned a pile of scrap wood into a machine that could sharpen saw blades like it came from a factory. She packed a suitcase, looked back one last time. "When you finally build something that works, come find me." She walked across the yard, straight into Carl's workshop. That was the exact moment my pride became more expensive than any tool I'd ever bought. So I made a decision. No expensive steel, no fancy CNC machine, no professional workshop. Just a forgotten pile of scrap wood, a few leftover bearings, and enough stubbornness to make the entire neighborhood laugh. Nobody believed this would work. Honestly, neither did I. The plan sounded ridiculous. Built a sharpening machine strong enough for saw blades, precise enough for kitchen knives, using pieces of wood most people would burn without thinking twice. Every mistake felt permanent. One measurement looked wrong. A tiny wobble appeared where there shouldn't have been one. Someone walking past the shop laughed. "Are you making furniture for squirrels?" Fair question. Even I started wondering if they were right. But here's the strange thing about crazy ideas. Sometimes they only look stupid right before they start making sense. Little by little, the frames stopped looking like firewood. The moving parts actually stayed aligned. One adjustment fixed another problem nobody expected. Suddenly, the impossible looked suspiciously possible. And that's usually the dangerous part, because hope is where DIY projects become either legends or very expensive firewood. Now, I wasn't trying to beat Carl anymore. I was trying to prove something to myself. Could scrap wood actually become a precision machine, or was I just creating the world's fanciest pile of disappointment? Every tiny improvement raised the stakes. Every adjustment answered one question and created two more. Would the angle stay consistent? Would the wheel vibrate? Would hardwood flex under pressure? Would everything explode the second power touched it? Nobody knew, least of all me. If you're already trying to guess the ending, you're probably wrong, because the next surprise wasn't the machine, it was who quietly showed up at the workshop door. My wife. She didn't say hello. She folded her arms, looked at the machine, looked at me, then smiled in exactly the way that makes husbands incredibly nervous. "Interesting." That's all she said. If she already knows whether this thing actually works, why haven't you hit the like button yet? At least give me one witness before she decides I'm sleeping in the workshop again. She leaned against the doorway, watching. No encouragement, no criticism, just waiting. Somehow that made the pressure 10 times worse. Now every adjustment mattered. A fraction too high, the edge would burn. A fraction too low, the blade would never become truly sharp. There wasn't much room between success and becoming Carl's favorite joke for the next 10 years. The motor came alive. The wheel began spinning. Smooth, suspiciously smooth, almost too smooth. That's usually the moment where every homemade machine reveals the terrible mistake nobody noticed. Nothing happened, which somehow felt even scarier. The first saw blade moved closer, slowly. Almost everyone watching expected sparks or disaster. The sound changed. Not loud, not dramatic, just different. The rough edge slowly disappeared. One tooth, another. The blade started looking younger than it had in years. Nobody spoke. Even Carl had wandered over. He crossed his arms, trying very hard not to look impressed. That alone felt like winning. But saw blades are one thing. Kitchen knives are where homemade sharpening machines usually expose every weakness. One uneven angle, one tiny vibration, and the edge is ruined. The knife touched the wheel. The entire workshop felt silent. Would the bevel stay even? Would the edge overheat? Would months of work collapse in 5 seconds? Nobody blinked. When the knife lifted away, it caught the light differently. Cleaner, sharper. Almost impossible to believe it had started as another dull blade headed for retirement. One quick test settled every argument. No forcing, no struggling, just one clean pass. The edge did exactly what it was supposed to do. Silence. Carl looked at the machine, looked at me, shrugged. "Okay, I didn't think you'd actually pull that off." Coming from Carl, that was practically an apology. My wife laughed. "Looks like I picked the wrong workshop." I told her, "Good news, there's still room on this side of the fence." She rolled her eyes, but she didn't walk back to Carl's workshop. I'd call that progress. So after everyone spent a week telling me scrap wood belonged in the fireplace, it turned into a sharpening machine that even my loudest critic had to respect. And if this video somehow doesn't reach 1,000 likes, there's still a very real chance my wife walks back across the yard and Carl gets the better workshop partner after all.